hope this works for you. I forgot my GoPro. So I'm putting this coil on a Stihl chainsaw. You gotta pull this chain brake up a little bit like that to get this cover off, and the coil goes right in here. I'll probably have to turn it that way, you can see it better. I think that's a good idea. Here is a brand spanking new Stihl $140 coil. So I'm gonna blow the dust out of this thing real quick and I'll be right back. So when you take the old coil off, you want to take the wires loose down here. And on this particular one, an MS261C, you'll unplug the wires from right here and plug them in the new one, which is the main reason if the guy's getting an OEM $140 coil. Because I could not find a coil just like this, an aftermarket coil just like this. And I have no problem putting aftermarket coils, as long as they have good reviews and fire good, on Stihl chainsaws. And the reason that I don't is I have looked back over 9 years of repairing coil Stihl chainsaws, and I have found that the second most common problem with a Stihl chainsaw is the fact that the coils go bad. Number one problem on all chainsaws is fuel. Bad fuel, caused by bad fuel, fuel related. But the second most common problem is Stihl coils going bad. So, based on that, I don't trust them. But this one, there's got a little plug-in right here. You got to take this little screw out, and that takes a T10 Torx tool. We'll pull that little screw right out of there. And you should be able to just pop that right off, okay? And that needs to be cleaned up because it's got dust and dirt stuff in it. And see these two little things right here? I could not find a Stihl coil or an aftermarket coil with this plug-in thing that you could plug on these two leads right here, which your hot wire, and it looks like your ground wire goes to. Red's hot and black's ground, except on generators. And you gotta find something specs about the generators, because anything could be anything on those things. And I've put aftermarket coils in Stihl carburetors for 9 years, every time I can. Never had one come back. Okay, and then this little port just pops right on here. That's a little snap, so I'm going to be careful. I don't want to break that off, whatever I do. My 2 leads up in there. I'm going to take this little screwdriver and move it out just a little bit. Ooh, that's a piece of, that's metal now though. The one on it came on was plastic. This is metal, so they have made an improvement. It just snaps right in, and you put your screw back. Snug, not stupid tight. Next thing, we want to put it back in the saw. And these 2 wires that come into one connector are going to go right. We're going to connect when I put the mounting bolt for the coil back in this hole right here. So we're going to see about getting this part of it where it goes. Make sure your magnets on your flywheel are away from your coil so it's not pulling while you're trying to get it in there. We'll go ahead and pull this wire up just a little bit maybe. Well, I've got my little coil screws right here. So I'm going to get one started in here. You can tell this is a mounting screw. It goes up here. You can tell the difference because it's thicker than your 2 bolts that you hold the coil with. Get your other one started right in there if you can. And that's going to take a looks like a T27. Now I'm going to pull this coil back as far as I can and just snug these things down just a little bit, just enough to hold it in place and hold it off the flywheel for now. And I'm going to tighten these things by hand. I'm going to try to use a tool on them. Just enough to hold it in place. Oh, what'd I do? I forgot to put this wire on here. I'll just take that one loose. I am going to use the torch tool for that. All right, electric ratchet. So if you forget something, don't panic. Just take the screw out and stick it back in there and put it in. Go back to hand. And when this baby starts to get tight, I'm going to hold this over. Well, that's not exactly going to work either, is it? I need my coil wire up so it can be the last thing that goes up through here. So I'm going to pull these out, see if I can't get this thing through here. And I'm thinking I'm going to stand a lot better chance of it if I have this off. This little sealer, I guess you call it a dust seal or something. We'll pop this off the end of it. Hold these screws up and just carefully work it through here. Yeah, just like so. So it can go on top of all these small wires. See? I'll go ahead and guide this down through here. These on the bottom of this thing. Yeah, I like that. Put this one back in. I'm not finding my hole yet, so I'm going to put an eyeball on it, push this down just a little bit. Put my Torx tool back. Get it just barely tight enough to stay off that coil, or to stay off that flywheel magnet. There we go. Push these wires down just a little bit more. Okay, come right under that. And then I want this wire to come right up through here. There's a little slot right there that you can push your wire in, coil wire. I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. That's why I took that screw out, was to get this loose. I don't know that that actually did it, but it made me feel better. Push my coil wire down into here. Yep. Put my dust seal back on here. This has to go through the hole in the seal. And pull this back down on here, down past the corner of the boot right here, and you're good to go. Yep, and it'll snap right in place. It's a good tight fit too. There's a little plastic piece right here that's got to go under this. So you're just gonna kind of do it like that, and then this thing snaps back in place. Yeah. That's actually, oh, I know what that's for. And you've got this little air guide try to wipe it off a little bit and clean it. And it goes right in here like that. Put your screw back in here. I may have messed up putting this on, but I don't think it's going to do anything to keep that coil from me being able to set the coil. So next thing, we need to set the coil gap, the distance between these two things and the magnet on the flywheel. So I think I'll use this super duper state of Tennessee fuel quality control business card and stick it right down in there like so, okay? And then I'm going to turn my flywheel in this direction, because you always turn in the direction that the blades are curved in, because that's the way the engine was designed to turn over. This magnet right down here to where it'll catch it. This one will catch it and that one will catch it. And I'm going to loosen these two bolts. Yeah, you see it snap up into place. I'm not going to push on it. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to loosen those two bolts. Then I'm going to tighten them up. And I'm going to turn my flywheel and just gently pull my card out of here, so hopefully I can use it again. And that should set your coil gap pretty doggone close. And it's looking pretty good to me. So there we go.